Greetings, this is Danny O'Connor, Director of Planning for the Kansas City Area Transportation Authority. Thank you for joining us today. KCATA is embarking upon a very important study of how our bus routes operate in the greater downtown area, from River Market to Crown Center. As you are aware, downtown is undergoing some exciting and significant changes and growth. Hence, it is an opportune time to examine how Metro buses operate in downtown and to develop new routing plans and long-term strategies to make transit easier to use and to best serve our riders and the downtown community. In developing these plans, we welcome and want your input and perspectives. Let us take a look at some of the issues we are weighing and strategies under consideration to improve downtown transit service. So what is driving the need for a new downtown transit plan? As many of you are aware, KCATA has been implementing numerous route changes over the past year related to our comprehensive service analysis, otherwise known as the CSA. The CSA is an in-depth technical study of the KCATA route system that has resulted in numerous route improvements to make the service easier to use and more efficient. Such improvements have included streamlined alignments, consistent schedules, new connections, and service extensions to new markets. To date, these improvements have focused on route service outside of downtown. This final effort of the CSA is intended to take a holistic approach at developing a plan to improve and simplify bus circulation in downtown while preserving operating efficiencies already gained through the CSA. Second and most pressing, with the streetcar set to open on Main Street in 2015, it is a timely opportunity to redesign downtown bus service to best support and connect with the streetcar while improving downtown circulation. Furthermore, downtown is changing from an influx of new residential units to new commercial developments, and it is important to adjust our route network to best support downtown activity, development, and street life. The goals of the Downtown Transit Plan are twofold. First, we're seeking to develop recommendations for efficient and coordinated bus routing in the downtown area. Emphasis will be placed on simplifying the service, making it easier to understand on the street and on a map, making the service more accessible, and improving connections between routes and the future streetcar on Main. Second, we also seek to identify and evaluate possible future facilities and capital treatments to improve transit's presence and function downtown. These facilities could also play a major role in supporting vibrant street life and ongoing economic development in the greater downtown area. For context, let's take a look at our current downtown route network. KCATA operates 42 routes into the downtown area, and Johnson County Transit operates an additional 8. While the current downtown route network works well for daily riders who are familiar with it, the network is not intuitive and appears complex to a new rider seeking to access the system. As you can see from this map, downtown routing is difficult to decipher. Which routes leave from where? How and where are connections made? How does one travel within downtown? Hence, through this process, we want to simplify downtown routing to make the service easier to use and understand. This will allow us to improve transfer connections and schedule coordination between various routes and the future streetcar. Downtown is a very important destination for our riders. Many riders travel into downtown to reach work, home, shopping, and cultural activities, or to transfer to other routes serving the greater Kansas City area. On the average weekday, there are over 30,000 transit trips to, from, and within downtown, with riders boarding and alighting at over 300 stops. KCATA has various capital facilities downtown to support transit service, and the capacity, functions, and locations of these facilities will also be evaluated and incorporated into the study. For example, we'll examine questions like, are the current bus lanes in optimal locations? With the streetcar, can 10th and Main function as the primary downtown transit center? Do alternative transit centers need to be explored? Do bus stops and stations need to be relocated and consolidated to best support downtown transit service? Through this planning process, we intend to draw from and consider various concepts and strategies used by other cities for their downtown route networks. Most emphasize one approach and supplement with other components. Let me briefly walk you through a few of these concepts and approaches and see how they could apply in Kansas City. One simple approach involves organizing the routes into intersecting patterns. Routes are concentrated on various intersecting streets, allowing transfer opportunities between all routes. The graphics above illustrate how this approach is used in St. Paul and Indianapolis. We call this approach intersecting trunk routes. For conversation, here's a sketch of how intersecting trunk routes could be established in downtown Kansas City. The goal would be to design the pattern so that all routes intersect with each other, thus improving transfer connections between all routes that converge in downtown. Another approach involves establishing transit priority corridors. Transit priority corridors are downtown streets where service is concentrated. Select streets typically have treatments that give high priority to transit, such as no parking zones, signal priority, significant passenger amenity, and bus-only lanes. Above are example of transit priority corridors in Portland and Seattle. A very common approach involves using bus-only lanes. KCATA currently has bus-only lanes on 12th Street, Main Street, and Walnut in downtown. Bus-only lanes provide a dedicated lane to speed bus service, and it can be designed to flow with traffic or against traffic. Through this study, we will examine various streets that may be good candidates for transit priority corridors in downtown Kansas City. Such streets may include 11th, 12th, Grand, Main, just to name a few. Another approach we'll consider includes transit malls. Transit malls are long linear corridors dedicated exclusively for transit and pedestrian purposes. Transit malls are typically devoid of single-car, auto traffic, and become very active areas lined with restaurants, office buildings, retail stores, commercial entities, and cultural facilities. A prime example of a successful transit mall includes the Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis. This 13-block-long transit mall is a very active commercial corridor, and the street is dedicated exclusively for bus and taxi service, with streetcar being considered for its future. In Portland, a pair of one-way streets serve as its vibrant 18-block-long transit spine. The Portland Transit Mall dedicates 2 lanes for transit and 1 lane for regular vehicular traffic. Another example of a transit mall includes the famous 16th Street Mall in Denver. Transit centers are located at each end of the 16-block mall, with a frequent bus service operating exclusively in the transit mall and connecting the transit centers. For Kansas City, we will examine if there are appropriate corridors for a transit mall. Such possibilities may include 10th, 12th, or Grand. Another concept we will evaluate includes transit centers. Transit centers are locations in which multiple bus routes converge to allow transfers between routes and buses to lay over. Some cities have one significantly sized transit center, others have multiple transit centers situated in different areas of downtown. KCATA currently has 2 transit centers downtown, the 10th and Main Transit Center and the 3rd and Grand Transit Center and Park and Ride in the city market. Here's an example of a single downtown transit center in Cincinnati. This center has multiple stops concentrated along one city block and accommodates maneuvers and transfer activities between more than 40 routes that converge together at this facility. We will also consider super stops at key locations in downtown. Super stops are significant passenger platforms and shelters situated at key loading and transfer locations. Through consolidating stops and placing super stops at select locations, it would be possible to improve travel speed and the passenger waiting experience. For our purposes, does it make sense to pursue transit centers in addition to 10th and Main or to replace it? Where are strategic locations in downtown for such facilities? These conceptual approaches are illustrative of the work and conversations we have begun in developing a new downtown transit plan. We anticipate this plan will take several months to develop and refine, with recommendations being finalized later this year. A critical aspect of this plan involves evaluating the traffic impacts of various plan alternatives through using the City of Kansas City's new traffic model. Our next immediate steps involve further examination of existing conditions and soliciting rider and stakeholder input to gain perspectives on how to best plan transit for downtown. And that leads us to your role in this study. Related to this PowerPoint, we have set up an online survey to gather your input on how to best plan for downtown bus circulation. In short, we are wanting your thoughts on 1. What works well today and what doesn't with downtown bus service? What are the best features of current downtown bus service? What needs improvement? 2. How can downtown bus service be improved? Specifically, we want to know, should service be dispersed on many streets downtown or concentrated on a few? Which north-south streets in downtown are good candidates to concentrate service? Which east-west streets are good candidates to concentrate service? And then, what approaches that you saw from other cities, transit malls, transit priority corridors, new transit centers, super stops, makes sense for Kansas City, and where in downtown should those facilities be located? You can access the survey and stay up to date on plan developments through visiting our website www.kcata.org. Once again, thank you for your interest, time, and input into this important endeavor.